here today. And the reason why I'm starting now is because it's really the only chance I'm going to have to get on this evening. Otherwise, it would have just been the one live today, but I had more stuff to talk about. We had a good time earlier today. We had about an hour and a half this morning together. So I wanted to kind of look at what's been going on in the charts as the rest of the day progressed. I want to look at a few other obstacles that we have to deal with. Um, we won't really look at it much, but the mining stocks had a bit of a movement at the end of the day, so it could be speaking of something to come with gold and silver. Um, I don't know. We have to see exactly. There's got to be something at play here with the way that we've progressed going forward here in the recent couple of hours. I don't know if we're going to get a propagation of something, a significant dump out in crypto. I don't know. Trump speaks tonight on the. He speaks tonight, but something preempted the mining stock sector to kind of spike up here at the end of the day. And gold and silver started to reverse. So it's not that any news has technically come out yet, but some dynamic has changed here. Some dynamic has really changed here going forward this evening. So we'll see if something comes out about propagation of war. If Trump says something tonight that we're trying to front run it, or someone's trying to front run it, so to say. But something definitely happened at the end of the day. So we'll take a look and see if we can kind of unwind what's going on. And honestly see if there's something to be made of this. Hold on, I want to share this just because I started soon. I didn't see anything on my screen. But I want to see if if I missed something, maybe the audience has something they can fill in with some kind of information. But there's definitely something that seems to have changed here in the last couple of hours, particularly the last hour and a half. So I don't know if something that Trump's going to say or what's going on, but I did decide to come back a second time today. I wanted to come back a little bit later, but with Scarlett being here for a few hours, I only had time to come on until about 5 o'clock. So I figured, what the heck, we'll do an hour until 5. I'll go eat dinner. And then when it's time for Scarlett to go back to her dad's, I'll be here for tea, and Julie can go do what she's got to do, drop her off. But I really did have a good time this morning. I felt like we had a lot of stuff to talk about. And my title today is not going to attract a lot of people, and that's okay. I'd rather not attract a lot of people so we can have a closer discussion if that's the way it's got to be. But it does have a lot of, there's a real strong meaning to why I put that in the title today. So good evening, 4:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Tuesday, February 24th, 2026. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan, so I could not resist but coming back on. Sometimes when you have a lot of fun with your friends, you want to see them again before the next day. So I wanted to come on and talk with all of you. We progressed up, as we talked about in the live this morning, back up towards that $1.36. Still a lot of work to be done. We're in the bottom side of this liquidity box still, which is okay. We're working our way out. I want to know if you guys see anything. I want to know if you guys have seen anything that would change the direction, because silver and gold is down, but the miners ended up pushing up. So they're either calling bullshit on the fact that gold and silver is down and we're about to get a big push up, or they're exhausting themselves in a very quick fashion. And one of these days, we're going to go down 15 to 30%. It's either or. So I've got my own attention today because I look at the miners and what I decided to do, because the miners are running opposite of gold and silver. I took a few of them off the list. I took one that's more even keel, that's more volatile, typically with PLG. The rest of them I kind of took off just for the fact that we're on right now. And I don't want our minds to get clouded because the gold and silver is down and just say, oh, the miners have to go down now. I want to look at this in a different way and be like, is there some kind of correlation that the miners ended up banging out at the end of the day Or is there going to be something big that comes up tonight that reverses the price of gold and silver? I really don't know. Because a lot of times when you run opposite, something big is happening. Andrew, you are welcome. I believe Mr. Euler is the one who gifted that free sub. It was awesome. And Cannabis Podcast gifted one earlier, but I'm pretty sure that was Mr. Euler's, Joseph Euler, who's 2 comments above you, who donated that one to you. Welcome to everybody in Tom's Army. Welcome back. It's an honor and a privilege as always to lead this beautiful community. A really beautiful community. But yeah, MQ. Absolutely correct. If we lose $1.34, yes, there is a short opportunity set up. I would highly encourage, if you are doing it, don't go above 10x. Even though I don't encourage anybody to leverage trade unless you have the proper knowledge, there is definitely a setup if we lose $1.34, and you can look at it as the friction point at $1.33 for confirmation. But if we fall below these levels, look out. If we don't fall below these levels, there is a possibility we come back up and test the breakdown of the symmetrical triangle at $1.40 or back towards that $1.45 zone. And I know MQ knows if we can get outside of that bearish confirmation zone and get to the top side, well, that could lead us into something different. And the targets are always changing with the algorithms and the trading bots and so on and so forth, which I know MQ talks a lot about in the Telegram, so I don't even need to repeat it if you're in the Telegram. But we definitely have some optics here, folks. We have some very big optics here. And it's been a decent pull up. But when we start to look at volume, we say, okay, well, what do we really have going on here? Nothing. That volume is absolutely brutal. If this candle follows the track of this 3 hour to the next 3 hour, brutal. This 4 hourly to the next, brutal. So far in the first hour and 8, brutal. Volume equals price. And does this move up warrant the price increase, or is this just another exhaustion phase? Well, if we break that $1.34, and ultimately, in my opinion, just because we put in a low at $1.31, you're not waiting for that as confirmation. If we break this box, I think it's over. I don't think we're going to hold $1.31. I think it's going to come straight down. And honestly, because of where it's breaking down, we could overextend down to $1.2280 approximately, or $1.22 area. So the trend is not our friend. We are not in a bull market. There's a distinct head and shoulders on here. Shoulder, head, shoulder. And this is just an example of where we could go. Now, it is heightened in another chart, so it's not all BS. Believe me, I don't BS. That's put there for a reason, because on another chart that's wider filled, and that's not coming down here to 81 cents yet. That's in the future. But we have, let's see, where the heck is the proper chart? I got so many charts. So many charts to deal with. Is this the one? No, that's not the one either. Where the heck is my chart? Where's my chart, ladies and gentlemen? Sometimes when you deal with 150 different charts, you get a brain fart. Well, this is the short term and the futures. I see that $1.33 area is very, very important. At least it is to me. Let's see. What's going on here? Did I delete it on accident earlier? I know we got into a lot of talking. But did I delete my other chart? I might have. Whoops. Interesting. I don't remember deleting it. How could I have done that? What were we looking at earlier that I would have deleted that chart? And what did I say to scare away 10 people? Wow. Nah, who gives a fuck? I don't care anymore. You come, you come, you go, you go. We can only cater to the ones who want to be around. So, no reason to even sweat it. Huh. I had another... Well, I guess I'm going to have to redo it. I had another one. How did I delete that on my phone? Oh, the phone. The stupid phone. Forgot about that. That's okay. This is easy enough to fix. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to swear if I swore. Just saying that it's irrelevant if We're trying to cater to a direct audience. We're not trying to force people to stay after all. They'll come back. They always do. When they're in the time of need, remember. See, before you're in the time of need, it's the time of wisdom. If you excel at wisdom and you can circumvent the nonsense and you don't get caught in the traps, guess what? You survive. But if you leave, the chances greatly increase that you're going to be in some trouble. Not because I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread, but because this community knows what's going on. And if you leave a community that actually gets it to go to one that doesn't, well, that's like trading your dollar bill of your bar of gold for a dollar bill in a depreciating state when the other one's just railing out of control. So basically, this is what we look at. We've got this lower level. It's about $1.25, $1.26. It just depends how long this takes. And the only reason I like this is because it kind of signifies this inverse head and shoulders. As long as it stays in this consolidation, we can almost say we're in a descending wedge style. Oh, absolutely. You get the telegram 100%. You don't even need to go into the live classes to get the telegram. You just just being in Tom's army, you get the telegram. Why are so many people leaving right now? I don't understand. Do people not want the information? Did I say something wrong? Did I overstep? Is my title not proper? Did I piss people off? I'm sorry, or not? Am I? I might not be. This is a great time to do my. This is a great time to say what I was gonna say. So, XRP doesn't owe you anything. Doesn't owe me anything. Oh, this will kick the rest of the people out who don't give a shit today. Oh, who don't want to go down this path with us today. But XRP doesn't owe us anything. It's true. I know it's hard to believe. Poor timing, lack of knowledge. There's no excuse to play a victim. If you play the victim, you're going to stay with that broke mentality because if you're a victim, you never learn. Never learning keeps you exit liquidity. Bottom line. So if you want to get ahead, you get ahead. If you don't, you don't. So we'll just continue on. But look at all these beautiful supporters here. Oh, another thing that might make people mad is because I've been starting to turn on, and I'll have to put it back on. Because I don't, even though now the bots are getting into my algorithm, which is annoying. But it's a funny thing. Even when I turn off live comments, except for subscribers, the bots are getting smarter. They will now, apparently YouTube allows the bots now. They won't even delete them. And they will start commenting on all of my stuff, even if it's for subscribers, which is interesting. Even if it shows them not a subscriber to the channel. Isn't that kind of crazy? So I don't know what YouTube's trying to do to me, or to all of us, but you can definitely see an assault on the viewer, which, is that by design? Do we think that's by design? I mean, at first, I wasn't so sure. But now as the time of peril gets worse and worse, I firmly believe there's an assault against all of us that are trying to find the real knowledge. Like today, this would not be a time to miss out. This would not be a time to leave. Some people are, oh, look at all those charts. I can't focus. Well, it might be time to start focusing, folks. It might be time to start focusing. There's opportunities everywhere. It's one of those things. Are you going to take control of your own financial future? Or do you want somebody else to? I don't want to be your financial future. I want to be a part of it. But I don't want to be the reason why. I want you to be the reason why. I want you to be like, oh, I get it. He helped, but I get it now. I can do this. That's what I want you to feel like every day when you leave here. You know? I thought it was a great conversation earlier, though, so nothing's going to get my mood down. I think we hit a peak. A nice peak. Oh, absolutely, Mrs. Stott. Absolutely. That's definitely a factor right now. Some people could have tuned in right before they left for the day. Some people might be about to clock out from work. Some people might be getting in trouble by trying to open this up. The pros acknowledge both sides of the market, long and short. Absolutely. That's what we have to do. And right now we've got this downtrending support within this little consolidation that could bring us to $1.24. that could extend down to, let's see, I just want to get this as accurate as I can, MQ, real quick. I mean, we could almost say it like that, but I don't want to do that because we already have that support somewhere else. Let's give it the overall benefit of the doubt and say if as long the validation for the continued drop, once it falls under here, which it doesn't leave a lot of space, obviously, if you wait for $1.30, but that would be your next level confirmation. So we a rejection here would be exactly what we're looking for. Oh, actually, that's not going to be the right chart. You guys are going to look at that and say, what the hell is that? I'm going to leave. No point of staying here. But we're inside it. We fell outside of a pennant flag, and it's a, oh, now I see what I did. Ha! This chart was there all along. I just raised it up so that we could acknowledge this. Now I see what I did. I'm glad I created the second chart, but I remember what I did now earlier. Remember I moved this up instead of having it laid down in that descending formation, and then we projected down below that maybe, just maybe, if we fell through, I don't know why this is like this. That's what I get for looking at it on my phone. But we projected this. Where's the $1.26? Wait a minute. What is that? $1.23. Maybe not. Maybe it wouldn't go that low. No, not dollar. That was $1.23. Definitely, it should be coming up to about $1.26. Interesting. Anyhow, we don't know how that's going to go on the bottom. That's just a projection if we fell through. So let's just see how we maintain. Let's see what we do here. But we've got that overwhelming resistance. It looks like a triple top. Well, not a triple top, but a head and shoulders pattern. Shoulder, head, shoulder. Let's get rid of some of this noise. I think sometimes the noise is confusing once we end up breaking down so much. It's like, well, we don't need all of this. We've already used this for what it's worth. We did the micros, macros within the micro. And believe it or not, this is a part of learning. Well, I'm deleting this. Another thing about XRP now owing you nothing. See, XRP's given us all we can handle. It takes a lot of diligence with XRP. There's no doubt about it. But from the bear market of 23 to 25, it gave a lot of opportunity. But what it also does is it gives a lot of chances to get it wrong. It gives a lot of chances to get it wrong. Normally because it's the last to run and first to dive. So if you pay attention, you get an outlier. But there's one true rhythm that time after time after time has always held true for XRP. Does anybody really know what it is? What happens if XRP is the last one to run? Or it's the only one that seemingly is pumping? What does that mean for the rest of the market? Also, remember yesterday when the two dubs flew in my window and we said it's over? And then the market proceeded to crash again? Little flash crash from yesterday. That's the second time in a row when some dubs flew into my window, the market crashed down the same day. Isn't that insane? Everybody who was in there yesterday is like, we might as well just cash it and it's over. Do you guys remember yesterday's live? It was amazing. And then not one, but two doves flew into the window that was behind me where I was doing my live in the living room. I'm in Michaela's room right now because T's home from school and he's a little sensitive to the noise and I don't want to bother him. But all the audience was like, well, we might as well just cash it in yesterday because it's over. No reason to even look at the top targets. Where are we going down? And sure as shit, birds flew into the window. Saturday decided to do that. Monday came up here for the liquidity sweep at around $1.41, $1.40. Actually, I think it was around $1.40. What did I get to 3 or something while we were live? $1.42. The birds hit the window right about here. And we came down here. So, but the doves did not get hurt. Remember last time I was sad and I had to put one to rest after the live because it killed itself. Second time I've seen that now. Some say it's not a good omen. I mean, for the market anyhow. You own 2 XRP. Is that a lot? Well, if your future venture is to buy candy canes for next Halloween or for next Christmas, you might be okay. Well, no, I didn't tell anybody the last time they flew into the window. One was, I know you are Budaki. That's why I was playing too. I know it's hard for me to joke around sometimes because I sound so serious. It's my own fault. But no, I was just having fun with you. I love you too, my brother. I'm glad to see you in here. I love it. I love it. Thank you, bud. Budake. Budoke. Man, I'm terrible with some names. Mr. and Mrs. Stott, I appreciate you along with Bad Guy and every other member of Tom's Army. It's all an illusion. CJ2 Pilot, even if you're not part of Tom's Army. I always appreciate the members of Tom's Army slightly elevated. Not that I don't love all of you equally, but you guys allow me to do this in the way that I envisioned by paying it forward and, allowing me not to have to put the advertising on and do all this stuff. You guys have no idea how much I appreciate that. I don't like having the ads on, especially during the lives. I think it takes away from the show. Hey man, we are in a difficult spot here though if we don't get volume. Because we're going to reject off of this box again if this continues, and that's going to be brutal. Right now, we can try to hold this 20-day support, but one of the things that's the key overwhelming factor is when you get into a resistance zone and the stochastic goes from oversold to overbought that quickly, that's telling us we could be exhausting in the area. So, Budokai. Oh, it's either Budokai or Budokai. Kai? Kai? I think it's Kai. I don't know. Kai? I'm a dumb American. I don't know how to say names that are unfamiliar. I always say Americans are about the dumbest people you'll ever meet. Typical American. Only because we're controlled by mass media to an extent that I don't even know if any other region on this planet is. I digress. So this is where we're at right now. It could be a possible tiny, maybe. No. We're going to need to do a lot of work. American education at its finest. I love it. Oh, I love it. You're so right about that. What is our education system? We get a whole lot of debt and a whole lot of nothing. We learn a lot of nothing. They teach us a lot of nothing. They don't even tell us how to balance a checkbook, which we don't even have checkbooks now. Look at me dating my age. They don't even tell us anything. They don't teach us anything of value. They just teach us how to be indoctrinated. But that's okay. That's okay. Could be worse. It may be worse. We could turn into the colony soon. Maybe that's what we're doing. Maybe that's where we're heading. Bitcoin's certainly shutting down here a little bit. Could be a shoulder. Could be an inverse setup. Could be a trap. We definitely don't want to be below this level at 64.1. We know that. Because now we're falling outside of this pattern. If we do, that would be defined. Do you know what happens if Bitcoin loses this level theoretically? I would assume we would go down and double bottom at minimum around that 60K. But I think that 59 to 55K would be calling. We know that 60,700 is a damn fine gateway here, which is a little bit lower now. 60,090. Oh, no, it's lower than that now. This doesn't look right. I think my phone screwed it up again. I think my phone has screwed up my stuff. Oh, no, it didn't. This is fine. Actually, I apologize. TradingView did not mess it up this time. My bad. But the urgency of this pattern and forget. Oh, let's get rid of this. This is just getting a little too noisy for Bitcoin. And if you guys are in here, I'm going to knock your, well, not all of you have those, but I'm going to knock your socks off. How about that? And we're going to try to figure this out together. See, when you talk about the expansionary zone, if you don't hold the cup and handle back test, you see where you could bleed? No. I mean, literally look at this. We could bleed. We could bleed. Not in a good way. I would say if I'm looking at this realistically, and I want to get an accurate measurement of how much we could bleed, I would say if you wanted to play that game, let's create the box. Because this drawdown could get wild. This whole thing could get wild if we had a breakdown. Now, who knows what Trump's going to say later? Who knows? I think everything's baked into what he's about to say. Let's see. If we break this, that's the back test. So we really don't want to lose this. At about, right about here, this wick. You start talking about this wick. I mean, are we willing to kind of rewrite the history books here? Like, do we wanna open up a gap of about this range and see what happens? I really don't. Well, actually, I do. What am I talking about? I really do. I don't mean to piss people off, but I really, really do. But I'm going to say it's smaller than that. I'm going to say you would first tap into this zone if you fell through. And you could, and you could still, in theory, hold this. We got to get back under this wick. Man, I remember when we had that drawdown zone and that's what happened. That is incredibly unbelievable how true to form this is falling. Oh, and speaking of the stock market and halting and everybody who wants a regulated crypto market, did you see what happened with PayPal earlier? PayPal got a parabolic spike and they halted it because it was moving up too fast. And when it came back online, it dropped about 3.5%. I'm no joke. It was getting I would say an unwarranted amount of volume. But it was up pretty nicely and it went quick. It was like good news. They halted it. So how would you guys feel about the crypto market if it does that? I hate PayPal. I don't like PayPal, as everybody knows. I had issues years ago when I would sell my own stuff and they kind of screwed me over because the seller lied and they ended up, and this is when I was poor, they ended up reversing what I had in my account. It was like $600 worth of stuff that I had strategically purchased at the right time, sold it at the right time. And this person acted like I never sent it. And PayPal sided with them initially. Eventually I won because the items were shipped and they never returned them. And obviously they liked them because I didn't send them back. And they acted like I never sent them. Well, they, yeah, that was on eBay because you had to pay through PayPal. It was eBay that screwed me technically, but they were associated via PayPal and they both worked together to screw over the seller. But anyhow, so I didn't have any money in the bank account. So when they took that money out, it sent an overdraft. There was like 10 overdrafts in a row. And it was the way the bank did it because it was a chargeback. They charged me like $49 per back because they sent it back. So it was like writing a check and getting it sent back basically. It was horrible. So it was like a 400 and I got them to waive most of it. After, but I still ended up getting hit with like $100 and something. Imagine that. No money. Finally make a little bit of money. And definitely struggling. That was around the time I had just broke my back in the early days of 2000. So it was probably about 2006 to 8 range if I had to guess, when PayPal and eBay were much more, they started off user friendly and then they just turned to shit. But yeah, it could be because of the Stripe acquisition. Absolutely. But halting it was a major, it's just another thing about the regulated nonsense. I don't want the space to be regulated. It's my last desire to not have it regulated. If it gets regulated, it really does force us halfway out the door. Now we can still make a lot of bank until they make us have a digital clearance. See what's happening here, right, folks? Don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but we give them too much of a reach. And they're not going to give us a reach around. They're going to slice our nuts off, so to say. They're not going to caress you. They're going to beat you. Not even beat you. They're going to rob you blind before you even realize what happened. I forgot. This is a family-friendly show. Ignore what I just said. Or not. What the heck is going on here? Now all of a sudden I can't find my drawdown tool. What is going on here? I must be out of my mind. Oh. I encourage you guys to mess with this. That's the lower wick. So that's a $10,000 drawdown, roughly. $10,164 is a 16.9% drawdown if we find ourselves. Well, no. Yeah, because if we lose that, it would first draw us down into here. But the potential, in my opinion, would be to reconsolidate this entire pattern Not necessarily, look, not necessarily, and I tried to create this with the box, not necessarily coming all the way down here, but what if we did do something like this? You have a support, maybe that's an overzealous wick, but we still tag it. Remember, we tag it because that's the right thing to do. Actually, you know what? In this scenario, screw tagging it. We're going to go with the entire liquidity box. What if it does something like that? If it comes back within? That would be a 16.94% drawdown. You know, what's the value of the drawdowns? Well, we did it before and it filled the entire drawdown. Then we did it again and it filled the entire drawdown. And now we just happen to be at the bottom side of the drawdown, rejecting off of the drawdown. So there is value in doing this out ahead. We did it with XRP. I've been trying to do this more often. Dent went up 50% likely because it's down 90% in a very short amount of time, would be my guess. Now, the other question is, did it hold? I don't know. I haven't looked at Dent. Oh, I mean, look where it's at. 0.001 when it came up. Remember where we sold? That's a big difference, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, it was sooner than that when we actually sold. There was a big rally when we sold, not there. We're in the daily. Where's the probably somewhere around here. And then we tried to ride it from here and up, and then we tried to, but we haven't looked at it in a while. But my guess would be from the top of this bull market, why did it go up 40%? Well, it's down 93%. So you need a, from where it's at right now. Remember what we learned in lesson class, in the class. A 93% drawdown, you have to make 1,036%. So you have to make a 10.3x for a 93% loss. It would have been nice, but are we good enough to do that? Are we at that stage? Volume looks, with that kind of volume, that's why I want to know, is something big about the flip? Like, is something going to happen here across the market? I don't know. This could be a facade, but I'm glad somebody brought it up because that is a volume spike. When I say I want a volume spike, that is what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. We had 50, 70, 90, 150 million, 200 million, 26 billion, 14 billion, 51 billion. Do you see that? That's a volume spike. That is the difference. That is what we're looking for. Oh, I'm glad you like the headline. Yeah, XRP doesn't owe you anything. It really doesn't. Everybody thinks it does. Like, an asset doesn't owe anybody anything. The only thing it owes you is the opportunity to invest. It's up to us to decode what's going on. I am very uncomfortable with what's going on in gold and silver right now. I have a weird feeling right now that I have a very bad feeling that those miners went up the way they did. I hope I'm wrong. Because if that was a rising wedge that is getting rejected today on silver, is it possible that things went up to a head now or double topped in others? I'm going to be very excited to see what happens in the next couple of days. Just to watch. Just to watch. I own precious metals, no doubt. And they're my favorite things to own. That's not too bad, 85.21. But then you can also look at this slightly different because of what it's building. But that's how it started. Oh, boy. I have an honest question to ask myself. We know that $66 range is somewhere within. Gold looks a lot better than silver, technically. We'll take a look at gold. For everybody coming and going, I appreciate you at least stopping in for a second. We've had a lot of rotation out today. A lot of people don't like what I'm talking about today, it looks like. But the core does, and that's the important part. After all, without the core, it means nothing. Could have 800 people in here, but if the core's not here, it's not as cool. I basically his head's so fucking big. 14.18% would be down to 74, and that would be a back test of that breakout. That is a very interesting. Excellent. Because that could have been a bearish pennant, but it extended out, created an inverse pattern, shoulder, head, shoulder. Broke to the top side, but are we going to get some validation? Oh, you guys can't hear me. That would make sense. Broke to the top side, but are we going to get some validation? Oh, you guys can't hear. Some of you can't hear. Interesting. Well, that would make sense why some are leaving. Well, I can hear it on mine, but that would make sense. Could you guys encourage everybody in the comments to restart the live? Because my live restarted on its own and I can hear. Huh. What is going on? Huh. What is going on? Because you can hear mine. I can hear it on my screen. Huh. What is going on? Because you can hear mine. And you can even hear the echo. What the hell is going on? So yeah, can somebody type in the chat to restart if you can't hear? That sucks. Now that makes a lot more sense if some of you are having connectability issues, even though I can't see it because mine is connected fine. That makes a lot more sense. You know, I feel better about that actually. Oh, super chat. Forgot what those look like. I haven't got a super chat in a while. Wow, thank you so much. It's all an illusion. Thanks for the look at that. Thanks for the $5 super chat. It says hit the like button. Yes. You know what's amazing? And now it makes a lot of sense. So there's a lot of connection issues. Unbelievable. Isn't that crazy though that I can't hear it on mine? What is going on? Why can I hear it? Unbelievable. See, half of the people say no audio and half the people say they can hear. The only good news about this is when I put the live out, you'll still be able to, when it gets released normally, you'll be able to hear the whole thing. And it's freezing. What is going on? This is craziness. Now it makes a lot of sense what's going on. Why so many people. Because it's like with the kind of content that's out today, normally it would accelerate the viewers once they come in, not decelerate the viewers. And the amount of likes that are coming in, the fact that we're outweighing likes and everything, just started twice and good for now. Yep. Okay, so maybe I can hear because my YouTube closed out on me twice already, as it does quite often. On my tablet next to me. Loud and clear from Cyprus. Ooh, welcome in, David from Cyprus. My guy. I appreciate that. We got the hockey sticks in chat now, 77. Ripple's lawyer is silencing you. I know John Deaton's probably pissed off at me. You know what's funny though? Isn't it kind of ironic timing that I talked about that the day before he came out and said his nonsensical BS? If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, a couple days ago, I wonder if I could even find that. Seeing that it was the last thing I said in yesterday's live, or 2 days ago. I said it 2 days ago, and then I reiterated it yesterday. I was a connivical scumbag, which I've talked about him being a liar, a cheat. One time I said it and I lost 250 members in my audience in one day because I called John Deaton a lying piece of shit. And people are like, oh, what are you talking about? This guy's pushing for XRP. And no, he's not. He's stuffing his pockets with our fucking money is what he's doing. Can't trick me. Let's see if I can find this. Maybe not. Okay, so that was Saturday or Sunday. So that might have been Saturday when I said it Saturday morning. Let's see something. I know I ended it yesterday with it as well, but I wanted to show you when I actually talked about this. Oh, I forgot we did the Brad Garlinghouse stupid video. Well, not stupid, but it was needed. Some people got mad that I shared that, but hey, it is what it is. Yeah, I can just play you the ending clip of the other day when we actually talked about him, the connivical cocksucker. Oh yeah, this one I got pissed. That guy is so full of shit. If this isn't for the faint of heart, so if you don't want to hear me swear, you might want to shut this off. You know, if I was in a different situation with Julie and my son, I would probably just shit.
Eric, I know I'm pitching.
Sorry, Eric Bischoff, but we don't want to listen to you right now. Son of a bitch, I had that perfect. This Sunday evening. I would definitely. Oh, this is the XRP. If it. That's the wrong one. I forgot it was from Monday. I apologize. I know we're trying to discuss stuff, but you know, sometimes I like to. This Monday morning. I like to backtrack so everybody can see what the hell I'm talking about. Oh, right here. Calculating the value of Sam Bankman-Fried's SBF. Okay, so I put this out, and then 9 hours later, he commented, not to me. He commented, but I put this out but 9 hours before he made that comment, ironically. Investments today is a surreal exercise in what if. Well, hey guys, so look, you guys want to call it bullshit or not? His investment of all people's money, 500 million into Anthropic AI would be worth 30 to 70 billion. The Solana investment worth over 600 million. Robinhood, 600 million would be worth 10 billion. Miston Labs, 100. So he took $1.6 billion of investor money. It's worth 41 to 81 billion today. So that's what I got mad about then. And then I was so annoyed because the very next day he comes out and talked his nonsense as he always does. I was a little disappointed, to be honest, that he came out and said that. It was wrong. Into this Monday morning. It was wrong. He shouldn't have said that. Rippling on. This guy's supposed to be the attorney. Here we go. This is why I had to reiterate this. He took $1.6 billion of investor money. It's worth 41 to 81 billion today. And that's crazy. So who got scammed? The investors? Sam Bankman-Fried? Because when John Deaton comes out and puts that line of shit out, he's full of shit. He confirmed it again last night and early this morning. That is embarrassing. The only reason those people lost their money is because this guy's sitting behind bars, and they turned into excellent investments. Look at those investments. Look at those investments. Guy's a fucking genius, and they threw him in jail. So ask yourself who's really playing for Team Us or who's playing for Team Corporate. In my opinion, John Deaton plays for Team Corporate, never played for retail. I don't appreciate that at all. I don't. I don't need to rehash it, but I don't appreciate that in the least. I mean, he's supposed to be with our best interests at heart, after all, folks. He's supposed to be doing it for us. Without the future. He's supposed to be doing it for us. Nobody else. Guy's supposed to be out. Oh, I don't want to go back into this. He's supposed to be here for us, and the whole time during the lawsuit, we thought he was on our side. I didn't. I kept calling him out every step of the way. And then exactly, CZ being pardoned and SBF not. It's all you need to know. And guess what? You know why he can't be pardoned? Because if they pardon SBF, where did all that money go? Where did all of those tokens go? Didn't go back to the holders. What about that entire market crash they blamed on Sam Bankman-Fried? What if? I know it's crazy. What if that whole crash happened because the federal government started selling out all of those wonderful positions? I still think it really tells you what side Ripple is on when it comes to corporate versus retail when you look at all of that. Well, yeah, look how much Binance does for the market maker. Absolutely. They do a lot because they help manipulate the market in a real nice well, not well, it is manipulation at the end of the day. There's no other word to call it. But they definitely help the back and forth with the liquidity for sure. Crypto Cooter, good evening. Thank you, Undefined, for being very trusted mods in here along with MQ. Much obliged. And Tom's Army as well for the bunch. It's all an illusion. And Emerson, thank you all for being part of Tom's Army. It means a lot. But yeah, I think it does speak volumes. And I think I don't think I know. Sometimes we just have to be honest with ourselves. Sometimes we just have to be honest with ourselves. XRP whale moves $127 million as price dips 5%. Ooh, I want to read this. Let's get off of that topic of John Deaton before I get my nuts cut off. Last time I spoke poorly of him, I lost like 250 subscribers, so we'll see what happens today. XRP whale moves 127. Well, those are the people that have their heads up his ass, so it's fine. XRP whale moves. If I wanted to look at shit, I'd look at a bull take a shit. Right? And I don't need to look at everybody covered in shit. But I gotta stop. I gotta stop swearing. I don't need to look at everybody covered in a horse's. Well, let's not go there. XRP whale moves 127 million as price dips 5%. This came out at 11:16 a.m. Have I mentioned today that it is 33 wonderful degrees outside on this beautiful Tuesday in the great state of Michigan? Started 15 degrees. Now we're up to 33 as we switch topics, and now we read. The crypto community has continued to face severe price corrections as bearish sentiment appears to be reaching peak levels. At such a sensitive time as this, large crypto transactions moving across blockchains have continued to catch the attention of market participants. On Tuesday, February 24th, popular blockchain monitoring platform Whale Alert, which tracks down large cryptocurrency transfers, spotted a massive crypto transaction involving the fourth largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization, XRP. The data provided by the source revealed that the transfer, which has stirred discussions across the crypto market, saw a total of 95,935,471 XRP worth over 127 million move among two unknown wallets. Oh, big deal, but this doesn't mean anything. Transfer from unknown wallet to unknown wallet, that's irrelevant. It's not even on the exchange unless I read something farther. XRP whale pulls off mystery move. Are we being disheveled and led to a bunch of bullshit right now? I'll decipher that for all of us in a second. We got to read to get the knowledge. It is important to note that the nature of the transfer could not be confirmed as the sender and receiver of the large XRP transaction was not disclosed. Okay, if this goes the way it's going, this is the biggest hunk of shit I've read all day. As such, speculation of the biggest hunk of manure I've not only read, but I've smelled all day. Smells like, man. It's one of those days, one of those times. As such, speculation around transactions only sparked the selling narrative. With unknown wallet to unknown wallet is not selling, guys. That's me sending from a wallet to an unknown wallet. That's not an exchange. You're sending it to an exchange is when the whales are selling, supposedly. Could be an apples to apples move, but that's certainly, anyhow. As such, speculation around the transaction has only sparked a selling narrative, with commentators suggesting that it could be Ripple selling or a major institution. It's not selling. It went from a wallet to a wallet. Not to mention, like Mr. Stott says, it's a whole 100 million tokens out of 90, well, what do we have right now? 61 billion in circulation or so out of 100 billion. And they're trying to say this dropped XRP 5%. Do they think we're born on fucking Pluto? That doesn't even exist. That's all the farce of the, anyhow, let's not get into outer space and the bullshit. We got bullshit everywhere, guys. That's the point. We're surrounded by nonsensical, canonical horse. If you don't know things, you don't know things. They keep you blinded by the lack of knowledge. 80 people watching and 80 likes. I've done my job. I might as well just leave now. I can't do better than that. While investors have expressed resilience amid prolonged market volatility, is that what we call it now when we sit through 80%? The timing of the transfer has sparked more doubts and fears. Imagine you went to the casino. You had $1,000 in your pocket. You're down 60%. They go, man, that guy's damn resilient. He doesn't care how much he loses. He's going to continue to gamble until he gets it right. Can you believe that guy walked in with 10 grand and he's only got 600 bucks up? What a resilient son of a bitch. He's still going until he gets down to zero. That's not resilience. That's being an idiot. I'm sorry. Is that too strong? The timing of the transfer has sparked more doubts and fear. Oh, while investors have expressed resilience amid a prolonged market volatility, the timing of the market has sparked more doubts and fears than hopes. In the minds of investors, slowing optimism for a potential price resurgence. The move was made while XRP was trading in deep red territory, showing a massive price decline of 5. Oh, yeah, so massive. 5.3% of the last day. You know what's funny? It didn't really go down 5.3%. Remember we went from $1.33 to $1.44 and we just can't, or 42 and just fall right back down? We didn't lose crap. We just recorrected back down where we just came from. Notably, the asset is trading at $1.33 as of writing. Pretty close now to $1.35 and some change. According to data from... Who wrote this pile of shit? Oh, you today. I should have known before I... Oops, I'm sorry. I should have known before I even read this that this was going to be horse garbage. I mean, come on. They literally say it's from an unknown wallet to an unknown wallet. That's pointless. That's useless. So you moved it from one wallet to the next. The wallet suggests you're not selling it. It's in a wallet. Just like if you hold your cash in a wallet, you're not selling it. Whether I turn it from my black to brown wallet, which I don't have either because I don't own a wallet. Hurt my ass and my back. But whether I go from a black or gray wallet doesn't mean that I'm getting rid of my cash. No, I'm still storing it in my wallet. Come on. Just say that. Just say this is a pointless story. We have no idea what's going on. They're saying that this is what moved the market 5%. This measly 100 million token move. Not to mention it went from a wallet to a wallet. I mean, we got a magician in the house, ladies and gentlemen. The magician is literally minus 8,423.43% in XRP futures flows is literally nothing. Another nonsensical story. The multi-year XRP bull market that could change everything. Remember, it's always just around the corner, folks. We're just around the corner all the time. Isn't it always tomorrow? Aren't we just one step away all the time? We're always just one. Man, if we could ever just get to the next day, because according to everybody, XRP is just a day away. We're just one day short. Can't sell today. Clarity Act Crypto 2026 odds crash as tariffs rattle markets. So they said that is the Trump tariffs were unconstitutional. Listen, this is how stupid they think y'all are. Me too, me included, but we're not that stupid. I'm going to tell you why. We're not dumb. Trust me, I see it all day on Facebook, and they're dumb. Those people are dumb when it comes to talking about the Clarity Act. They were completely dumb. So, and when it comes to the tariffs. So Trump raises the overall tariffs from 10 to 15%, right? Well, they tell you that all these corporations are now going to sue Donald Trump or the United States to get their money back. What fucking money? Get out of here with that Fugazi already. Are we going to call the Fugazi for what it is? A pile of bold... So basically the tariff, the store isn't paying for it. They never were. Notice how your prices went up? Ironically, about 10 to 20% on all your items, some 40 to 50. We're paying it. So if anybody has the right to sue for the money back, wouldn't it be us? And what do they want to do? Buy you off a $2,000 check. Then take that check and shove it up their ass. I don't even want it. If I'm being honest with you, that $2,000 is going to cost us $10,000 next year. By the further disconnect from our national debt. How about this? Shove it up your guys' ass. How about that? I don't want your money. I don't want it. Never did, never will. You know, like that's how we should all think. And the funny thing is in this country, tariffs are illegal when you have an income tax. But you didn't know that. They abolished tariffs because they put in place a income tax. But what everybody's too stupid, and especially America, right? We're the dumbest people on the planet. I mean, we're American. We can acknowledge it. I can acknowledge 9 out of my 10 peers are stupid as hell. I hate to say that, and I know a lot of Americans are watching me, maybe less nowadays. But I'm an American. I mean, I'm second generation Italian, Lebanese, mostly Italian, but still, we came over the boat, but we're stupid. So what does retail say? Oh, Trump's the man. That's right, China, you're going to pay, damn it. All these countries are going to pay the 15. Wait a minute. Why am I paying more at the store? Oh, that's not because of Trump. After all, the tariffs are paid by the other countries. Are we that stupid? Do you even know what a tariff means? And I'm not asking you if you're stupid. I'm asking the United States of America if we're that stupid. And we are. I already know that. But we don't have to be in this community. We can understand. We can be a part of the next generation of actual wealth. Might not look the way it does now. You may be swiping a freaking digital badge. Or you could have your physical bullion. Because at the end of the day, the miners, they can increase wealth, but they're still the same as owning a stock or a crypto at the end of the day. Once we get to that point, I don't think anything's going to be safe. That's why the only reason that I even put in to that traditional IRA as any kind of retirement fund is because I get to write off $7,500 a year. Doesn't seem like a lot, but when you have crypto gains, it definitely helps the bottom line. You know, more in my pocket, less than theirs kind of thing, except how much of it am I going to get back? But yeah, as Crypto Cooter said, retail's getting hit 3 times over. 3 times over. And then the funny thing is if we pay taxes on our money and I send you too much, now we got to pay taxes on it again. If I pay taxes on money, I buy Bitcoin to send it to myself, they count it as a transaction and I got to pay more money. So why the fuck would I send Bitcoin and use that as a store of medium of exchange when I got to pay an over-the-top bullshit tax, which I call the wealth tax, just to send the cryptocurrency? How does that make any sense? We don't need crypto to do that. We don't. We have Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. We have instant settlement. We have JP Morgan. I can use Zelly. I mean, we don't need crypto to go borderless payments anymore. So what is going on? Why do we think it owes us so much? Why do we always think that just because we buy somewhere, this entire entity owes us something? That's what I want to know. Absolutely. The people fund not only the resolution for think about it. All the businesses corporate are going under. They put this bullshit or this nonsensical tariff in where they say, oh, the company's paying 15 to 30 to 50%, the country. No, they're not. If you're exporting an item, the exported country that is importing them pays it. It's a tariff. Means if your product goes to the other person, the person who's getting the product pays. Now, if China put a 15% tariff on their products, we would pay for it. I mean, their people would pay for it. But we put the tariff on, which means our people pay for it. Who put the tariff on? China or us? Japan or us? Canada or us? We can't export anything anyhow. That's why they got to tell you, we're going to make them pay for it. We don't make anything anyhow, but I got to get going here. It's time for dinner. I forgot. It's been an hour. Julie told me 5 o'clock, and I don't want to piss off the boss. Absolutely. Bad guy said it. Tariffs, in essence, take a percentage of both institutional surplus and consumer surplus. In reality, the consumer surplus takes the hit for both. It sure does. So really, I hope you learned something today, but right now, I want you to pay attention. If we can get over this 136, 135 and a half, likely retest in the 30-minute to $1.38 to $1.40. However, if this gets rejected and Trump says something stupid, which when it comes to the economy, we can pretty much bet on it. And I like Trump outside of politics because he taught me a lot about a lot. Let's put it that way. He taught me a lot about a lot by being a good businessman. Some say he's a bad businessman because he failed. No good businessman didn't fail. A good businessman takes his equity and multiplies it. He inherited millions. He turned it into billions. That's a successful businessman. I inherited zero, and I've turned it into something. I'm a good businessman. Oh, I will, Mr. Stott. You better believe it. I will. That's what we like to do. Throwing that back at me, are we, Mr. Stott? Absolutely. But I will. But yeah, so just pay attention to that with XRP. We'll see if we can get back inside of the symmetrical triangle, which is going to be hard right now. But I mean, you never know. You never know. I'm still looking at a fade down if we lose that. Like, remember what MQ said at $1.34? We talked about the validation at $1.33. You fade it to $1.26 roughly. Don't get yourself trapped in a weird short though, but that's where you would fade it down. I'm not saying you have to short, but a fade would simply mean to don't buy that dip until it fades into that range and then reassess it. So be blessed, everybody. I'm honored that we could come back. I'm honored we could come back. The time goes so fast. Oh, so fast. And I'm going to be watching gold and silver like a hawk tonight to see what the hell's going on. Crypto's trying to give it back. All right, look at this. Look at this pile of... And oh yeah, XRP doesn't owe you anything. We owe XRP. You know what we owe XRP? The ability to sift through all the nonsense and know the chart. XRP, we owe it that. If you love XRP, educate yourself. Don't blame XRP. Don't play the victim. Play the hero. We're going to make the money XRP allows us to when the time is right. But we're not going to blame XRP because it doesn't owe us anything. Get that. Just understand that XRP and cryptocurrency